Hello, and welcome to Chronicles of a YoYo Noob. That would be me, Priestizzle. I posted on YoYoNation.com's forums as well as the YoStore.com's forums. I'm a member of both as Priestizzle. That I will be making this series, which is called Chronicles of a YoYo Noob. The whole point of this is to show my progression, and it's a video diary of weekly of my progression in yo-yo usage, throwing, tricks, and everything that goes along with it. As certain other members also suggested that I show any modifications, and while I was doing it and videotape that, and I guess that's a good idea. I'll chronicle everything I do in the yo-yo world. Recently got back into yo-yoing. I yo-yoed when I was 13. I'm now 21 years old. I live in Brooklyn, New York. A very addictive personality. As you can see, yo-yos. I play paintball. I'm a competitive computer gamer, competitive 360 gamer. I do pretty much anything that I get my hands on. I have to be the best, and I strive to be the best, and that's just my personality. So recently I was at a party, and a friend bought another friend a yo-yo for their birthday, and I was like, man, I really miss yo-yos. So I went and bought a yo-yo, and that turned out to be a bad decision, the one I got. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but first let me give you a little introduction into me and yo-yos. When I was 13, I owned a yo-yo. In fact, the first yo-yo I bought was a Yomega Fireball, and that was back in the day when Yomegas were all the craze and everybody was getting a yo-yo. That was 98, 97, 96, around there. And I mean, I'm terrible at math. I'm 21. Somebody do the math for me and like post it in a comment. That's fine. But I had the Fireball and I broke it. I threw it, and back then I didn't know about changing strings, and I had the yo-yo for about a month, and the string went snap, yo-yo went flying into the wall and smashed into a million pieces. So after that, I told my parents that I want another one. They're like, okay. They went and got me a Yomega Firestorm, which you can't even find on the internet anymore, which kind of bums me out because I wanted to get one, just to have one, because I really liked that yo-yo once I got it. Believe that had a metal bearing, whereas the Fireball had that plastic bearing thing, so the sleep times were pretty weak back then. But that one ended in tragedy as well, when my sister threw that one into the pool, left it there overnight, and it was destroyed. After that, my parents said, you're not allowed to have a yo-yo anymore. I'm not getting you another yo-yo. They cost so much money, because back then Spencer's Gift was selling them for like $25, and now looking back, $25 for a Fireball or a Firestorm is a little bit overpriced. But other than that, that ended my yo-yo career for them, from then to now. And like I said, at that party, wanted to get a yo-yo, and which brings me to the introduction to my yo-yos. Take this here, this one right here. These are my yo-yos. First up, which is the worst one, the Yomega Metallic Missile. This yo-yo is, for lack of a better word, an utter piece of crap. It has a small gap. Response system is dodgy, to say the least, and it's really heavy, sleeps for about 15 seconds, and sucks. Enough of that. After now realizing it sucked once I bought it for $30, I went and did some research, and this was the first thing that I learned to buy. This is the Velocity from Yo-Yo Factory. It's a good yo-yo, but been playing with it for about 4 days now, since I started about 5 days ago, I guess. I'm not even going to count when I started with the Metallic Missile, because it's an utter piece of crap. But this one, 4 days ago, got it, started playing with it, throwing it around, doing some tricks. It's good, but it's a little bit too light. And I knew it was too light, and I knew I didn't like the weight on it, because I bought this at the same time as I bought the Velocity. This is the Yo-Yo Jam Lin Fury in black and yellow. I bought this at the same time as I bought the Velocity, but gave it to my girlfriend because she wanted to learn yo-yos. So I said, all right, here, you can have this one. I'll learn with the Velocity. Everybody says on the forums that it's better anyway. Well, never listen to people on forums, or do listen to people on forums, but when it comes to stuff like what yo-yo works best for you, I've already found out that it's all preference, because I went and bought another one, and here it is. This is it, and I love it. It gets great sleep times. It's quiet when it sleeps, as opposed to the Velocity, which is incredibly loud. And I think it's the Starburst response system, which is really loud. This uses the dual yo rings, I believe they're called, response system, and it's very good. Wider gap than the Velocity. I'll show you here. It is hard to tell here, but the gap is significantly wider. Also, the yo-yo itself is wider. Let's see, put it there together. Looks to me to be about 2 centimeters wider, but the shape itself is better. The inside here kind of dips in and dips back out and has like a little lip here. I don't know. The feel of that yo-yo is not for me. But this, I love it. It's great. And this is only an intro video, so I'm not going to tell you what I can do yet. That'll be in Chronicles of a YoYo Noob, episode 1. And in that episode, I'll show you all the tricks I can do. Starting out, I'm going to be going into 1A. Let's put this back here. I decided I was going to start off in 1A yo-yoing and move on from there, and hopefully venture into 5A second, and then 4A last. I kind of have no interest in double-handed yo-yos, the 2A and the 3A. Not saying that they're not cool to watch or anything like that. They don't interest me. And maybe I'll dabble down the road, who knows. But 1A, 5A, and 4A were really the three things that I've watched on YouTube and really enjoyed. So that looks like what I'm going to be getting into. So that'll be it for this intro. That'll be it for this intro video. Sorry. And if you have any questions, I have answers, so just leave me a message. You can subscribe if you like. If you're a fellow noob to yo-yoing and you want to, follow my progression along with yours, feel free. I'm making this more for those of us who go on YouTube just starting out yo-yos, and all we can find is advanced users showing us tutorials on how to do tricks and not really explaining them too well. I'm not saying I'm going to do tutorials, because I'm far from being able to do tutorials, but it's kind of showing people how I progressed, and maybe they can do the same. But it's also for me, so that when or if I do get good at yo-yoing, I could look back and say, oh man, I wonder how I was a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. And I could go back to YouTube or any of the other video sites that I'm going to put this on and say, oh yeah, I remember when I was just starting out. And then, kind of look back on it and keep myself grounded, if that's possible. But also, this is definitely for fellow people starting out in yo-yoing, enjoying it, and I thoroughly enjoy it, especially now that I got this baby, the Lid Fury. I really do love it, and I got it just today, actually, and I've been throwing it all day, and the weight is so much better. It doesn't flip around. I'll show you one of the problems I have with the Velocity is I'll throw a sleeper, and it's not so much the turning. The sleeper will start careening off and then flop on its back and die. Especially if it's starting to get low on steam. It'll just almost automatically flop over. So getting low on steam, I try to bind it, bring it back to my hand, and it's not good. And I'm not saying I'm the best at binding, but it's hard to bind sideways. That's all I'm saying. This seems to sleep straight when I throw it. Never flops on its back. It'll turn, but from what I've read, that's impossible to prevent. And I don't know how true that is, but so far it seemed true when it comes to me and my yo-yos. But that'll be it for the intro video. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you'd like. And all the links, if you have any questions, are in the sidebar. And you can just message me or hit me up on the forums at yoyonation.com. or the YoStore.com, which I believe is the YoForums.com. And username is the same as it is here, Priestizzle. Catch you later.